Remember when the left loved Tulsi Gabbard? That was before she committed the ultimate sin, telling the truth about their golden child, Kamala Harris. Well, now this decorated combat veteran faces her toughest battle yet, confirmation as the Director of National Intelligence. But something happened in today's hearing that no one expected. Tulsi revealed she was placed on a secret domestic terror watch list just 24 hours after criticizing Harris. So let that sink in for a moment. A congressional representative, a combat veteran on a terror list for criticizing a politician? Still think this is about national security? And speaking of power grabs, while the deep state tries to maintain their grip on intelligence agencies, they're also maintaining a grip on your power bill. Just as Tulsi is exposing their corruption, this revolutionary device is exposing their energy scam. It's a simple plug-in device that big energy companies hate because it gives the power back to you literally. Just like Tulsi is fighting to reform intelligence agencies, this device helps you fight back against rising energy costs. Visit don'twastepower.com and join the thousands of Americans taking control of their power bills. That's don'twastepower.com. Now let's take a moment to meet Tulsi Gabbard. She could very well be the next Director of National Intelligence.
You know, even as they talk about the fundamentals, break it down into the simple things. You do the simple things right, everything else comes together. So I'm learning a lot from them and having a ton of fun.
Yeah, she is having fun, that's for sure. We've got this clip here too. She's talking about Edward Snowden, pardon me.
Information
here she is.
And intelligence
what? Stop.
That he
stop,
released,
stop,
nor the way in which he did it.
What is up? I said stop. Stop the clip. I got to set it up first,
right? Would have been opportunities for him to come to you on this committee or seek out the IG to release.
What a mess. Okay, I apologize. This is from 4 hours ago. Tulsi Gabbard. Edward Snowden broke the law, but he also released information that exposed egregious, illegal, and unconstitutional programs. Interesting. I think Edward Snowden's an American hero.
Sir, do you still think Edward Snowden is brave?
Mr. Vice Chairman, Edward Snowden broke the law. I do not agree with or support with all of the information and intelligence that he released, nor the way in which he did it. There would have been opportunities for him to come to you on this committee or seek out the IG to release that information. The fact is, he also, even as he broke the law, released information that exposed egregious, illegal, and unconstitutional programs that are happening within our government that led to serious reforms that Congress undertook.
Chairman, we got 5 minutes. So I take your answer, and these are your quotes. Brave, please join my bipartisan legislation calling for charges to be dropped against him. Do you disagree that legislation was not appropriate? Do you believe he is brave or not?
Yeah,
back those words?
Once again, Senator, Edward Snowden broke the law. He also released information that exposed the United States government's illegal
your
programs.
Legislation and your words are still your beliefs. Yes or no, please?
I'm making myself very clear. Edward Snowden broke the law. He released information about the United States government's illegal activities. If I may just finish my thoughts, Senator. In this role that I've been nominated for, if confirmed as Director of National Intelligence, I will be responsible for protecting our nation's secrets, and I have 4 immediate steps that I would take to prevent another Snowden-like leak.
Ma'am.
Wow. Wow, here we have this, Tulsi Gabbard. Soldier Bulletin 3 minutes ago posting this. Tulsi Gabbard for first female president. That would be a nice smack in the face for Kamala and Hillary supporters. Let's listen to this clip from the hearing.
Now, before I close, I want to warn the American people who are watching at home. You may hear lies and smears in this hearing that'll challenge my loyalty to and my love for our country. Those who oppose my nomination imply that I am loyal to something or someone other than God, my own conscience, and the Constitution of the United States. Accusing me of being Trump's puppet, Putin's puppet, Assad's puppet, a guru's puppet, Modi's puppet, not recognizing the absurdity of simultaneously being the puppet of 5 different puppet masters. The same tactic was used against President Trump and failed. The American people elected President Trump with a decisive victory and mandate for change. The fact is, what truly unsettles my political opponents is I refuse to be their puppet. I have no love for Assad or Gaddafi or any dictator. I just hate al-Qaeda. I hate that we have leaders who cozy up to Islamist extremists, minimizing them to so-called rebels. As Jake Sullivan said to Hillary Clinton, quote, al-Qaeda is on our side in Syria. Well, Syria is now controlled by an al-Qaeda offshoot, HTS, led by an Islamist jihadist who danced in the streets on 9/11 and who was responsible for the killing of many American service members. Now, before I close, I want to warn the American people who are watching.
That is quite a warning. Here she is taking apart the Russia hoax, the dirty 51 laptop letter, Clapper, Brennan, the weaponized FBI in her opening statement, and then she gets personal.
The American people elected Donald Trump as their president not once but twice, and yet the FBI and intelligence agencies were
Wait, we have to issue a correction. The American people elected Donald Trump actually 3 times. So you got that wrong there, Tulsi.
By his opponents to undermine his presidency and falsely portray him as a puppet of Putin. Title I of FISA was used illegally to obtain a warrant to spy on Trump campaign advisor Carter Page, using a Clinton campaign-funded false dossier as their so-called evidence. Biden campaign advisor Tony Blinken was the impetus for the 51 former senior intelligence officials' letter dismissing Hunter Biden's laptop as disinformation specifically to help Biden win the election. Former DNI James Clapper lied to this committee in 2013, denying the existence of programs that facilitated the mass collection of millions of Americans' phone and internet records, yet was never held accountable. Under John Brennan's leadership, the CIA abused its power to spy on Congress, to dodge oversight, lied about doing it until he was caught, and yet has never been held responsible. Under Biden, the FBI abused its power for political reasons to try to surveil Catholics who attend traditional Latin Mass, labeling them as quote-unquote radical traditionalist Catholics.
Wow.
Personally, just 24 hours after I criticized Kamala Harris and her nomination, I was placed on a secret domestic terror watch list called Quiet Skies. Sadly, there are more examples. The bottom line is this must end.
And it will once she is in office. Kash Patel is confirmed. And let's see, here's some memes. People putting AI-generated images of Tulsi giving Trump a high five, calling her a real-life Wonder Woman. This is from the Democrat debate back when she was a candidate. In 2020. That's when Democrats loved Tulsi Gabbard until she went after elite corporate interests supported by the left and then ended Kamala's 2020 presidential run. Now they smear her in her nomination for DNI. Let's watch this flashback.
In Washington.
You have criticized Hillary Clinton as the, quote, personification of the rot that has sickened the Democratic Party. What is the rot you see in the Democratic Party?
That our Democratic Party, unfortunately, is not the party that is of, by, and for the people. It is a party that has been and continues to be influenced by the foreign policy establishment in Washington, represented by Hillary Clinton and others' foreign policy, by the military-industrial complex and other greedy corporate interests. I'm running for president to be the Democratic nominee that rebuilds our Democratic Party, takes it out of their hands, and truly puts it in the hands of the people of this country, a party that actually hears the voices of Americans who are struggling all across this country, and puts it in the hands of veterans and fellow Americans who are calling for an end to this ongoing Bush, Clinton, Trump foreign policy doctrine of regime change wars, overthrowing dictators and other other countries, needlessly sending my brothers and sisters in uniform into harm's way to fight in wars that actually undermine our national security and have cost us thousands of American lives. These are wars that have cost us as American taxpayers trillions of dollars since 9/11 alone, dollars that have come out of our pockets, out of our hospitals, out of our schools, out of our infrastructure needs. As president, I will end this foreign policy, end these regime change wars, work to end this new Cold War and arms race, and instead invest our hard-earned taxpayer dollars actually into serving the needs of the American people.
Thank you,
right here at
Congresswoman.
home.
Senator Harris, any response?
Oh, sure. I think that it's unfortunate that we have someone on this stage who is attempting to be the Democratic nominee for President of the United States, who during the Obama administration spent 4 years full-time on Fox News criticizing President Obama.
That's
who
ridiculous,
has spent
Senator
full-time,
Harris. That's
who has spent
ridiculous.
full-time criticizing people on this stage as affiliated with the Democratic Party. When Donald Trump was elected, not even sworn in, buddied up to Steve Bannon to get a meeting with Donald Trump in the Trump Tower, fails to call a war criminal by what he is as a war criminal, and then spends full time during the course of this campaign, again, criticizing the Democratic Party. What we need on the stage in November is someone who has the ability to win. And by that, we need someone on that stage who has the ability to go toe-to-toe with Donald Trump, and someone who has the ability to rebuild the Obama coalition and bring the party.
I just want to pause this. Someone who can go toe-to-toe with Donald Trump. Well, you had your chance, Kamala, and you failed. He mopped the floor with you. Such a great flashback to hear these words.
The nation together. I believe I am that candidate.
Thank you, Senator.
Yes.
Congresswoman Gabbard, I'll give you a chance to
What
respond.
Senator Harris is doing is unfortunately continuing to traffic in lies and smears and innuendos because she cannot challenge the substance of the argument that I'm making, the leadership and the change that I'm seeking to bring in our foreign policy, which only makes me guess that she will, as president, continue the status quo, continue the Bush, Clinton, Trump foreign policy of regime change wars, which is deeply destructive. This is personal to me because I served in Iraq. I left my seat in the state legislature in Hawaii, volunteered to deploy to Iraq, where I served in a medical unit where every single day I saw the terribly high human cost of war. I take very seriously the responsibility that the president has to serve as commander-in-chief, to lead our armed forces, and to make sure always, no, I'm not going to put party interests first. I will put the interests of the American people
Congresswoman.
above all
I want
else.
to bring you.
And she is going to bring that to the Director of National Intelligence role. Over 1,100 veterans have signed a letter supporting Tulsi Gabbard's nomination. That's awesome. Here we have Tulsi Gabbard. They state Edward Snowden 8 hours ago. Holy cow. Tulsi Gabbard will be required to disown all prior support for whistleblowers as a condition of confirmation today. I encourage her to do so. Tell them I harmed national security and the sweet, soft feelings of staff in D.C. That's what passes for the Pledge of Allegiance. Edward Snowden. Oh, man. He is proud of it. Here we have J.D. Vance. In their own way, both Tulsi, RFK Jr. represent parts of the new coalition in our party. To say they're unwelcome in the cabinet is to insult those new voters. To reject their confirmation is to reject the idea that President Trump decides his cabinet. Charlie Kirk said that the vote for Tulsi Gabbard might be done privately in a skiff, with the vote tallies being kept secret from the American people. This is outrageous and wrong. The American people deserve to know how their senators vote on Trump's nominees. So we have a lot going on today. Tulsi Gabbard, Kash Patel, RFK Jr., all having their hearings. And Roger Stone had this to say. Tulsi Gabbard was good enough to fight in the wars created by John Brennan, John Bolton, and the rest of the Bush crime syndicate. Now she wants to serve as director of national intelligence, and all of a sudden she's not good enough? She's good enough to fight in their wars on their behalf, but not good enough to serve in D.C.? Give me a break. Even Roger Stone is standing with Tulsi Gabbard. Give us a thumbs up if you fully support Tulsi Gabbard for Director of National Intelligence. So the confirmation hearings continue. We're going to continue to bring you the latest as it happens. But the good news is over 1,100 veterans have signed a letter supporting Tulsi's nomination. Now, these aren't just any veterans. These are the men and women who have seen firsthand how intelligence agencies really operate. They know what's at stake. Meanwhile, the same people who pushed the Russia hoax, who lied about Hunter's laptop, who put American citizens on terror lists for wrongthink, they're in full panic mode. But here's the real question everybody should be asking. If they're willing to put a sitting member of Congress on a terror watch list for criticizing Kamala Harris, what have they done to ordinary Americans who dare to question their narrative? What other lists are we on that we don't even know about? Comment below. And show your patriot pride with our MAG Avengers gear at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. It is linked down below.